What type of things keep you up at night as a business owner?
What if it fails? Like, what if one day nobody wants to come see me and get their hair done? They're going to find out I don't know what I'm doing as a business owner. They're going to find out I'm not the best leader. I just woke up one day after working there for like 15 years and was like, I think I want more. I want more say, because I was limited with what I could do. You'll get your ass kicked some days. Okay, this is one of those days they're talking
Get your
about.
ass kicked every day.
I was so stressed out there in the first like maybe year because I was like, I have to know everything. When I first bought the business, I remember that was the first thing I let go was my discipline, my working out, my eating right, whatever, because I was so focused on the business. Am I doing enough as a leader?
Today on ASAP Unfiltered, I have my friend Lauren Rory, who is the owner of the Local Salon and Parlor in Cornelius, Lake Norman area.
Yes.
So thank you for coming on. I'm excited you're here. And I think this conversation is going to be more of like friends talking about business, which I think will be fun. So pretty much unscripted.
Perfect.
Unfiltered.
Love it. Yep.
All right. So can you tell us about how long you've been a business owner and what your salon does?
We do everything hair. That's the only thing we do. We're not a spa. We just do everything hair. Men's cutting, women's color services, everything like that. We don't specialize in just like blonding or extensions or anything like that. We're kind of full service in regards to just hair. I've owned it for 4 years. Just woke up one day after working there for like 15 years and was like, I think I want more. And then I talked to my old boss and bought the place. So I've owned it for 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Almost 5.
And you guys, I mean, I've been there obviously, but you guys are more of like a boutique high-end salon.
Yeah.
So I think different from a lot of places.
Yeah.
And then as far as the structure of like the business, do they rent chairs from you or how does that all work?
So we're commission based. So they are employees. We do a sliding scale commission. So basically it's one of those, the more that they make, the more that they're able to have. So I'm not opposed to a booth renting situation. I just felt like I wanted to have a little bit more control, if you will, over some of the standards and stuff. And legally there's just some things that I can't do with booth rental. So I chose to do commission. But yeah, so when I took over the salon previously did a standard split. And I went personally as a stylist and went and negotiated a different split when I worked there. But then when I took over the salon, I was like, I wanted to put more ownership on the stylist. So that's why I did a sliding scale. So if you want to take off and work 1 day a week and take off the rest of the time, okay, fine. But your pay will be, affected by that.
Right.
Versus if you want to come in and be a hustler and work and work and work, you can make more of your own money. So it's not like a standard 60-40 or a 50-50 where the greedy salon owner gets most of the money. It's not like that. The more that they're willing to work and the more that they hustle and they're go-getters, the more that they can have. And I want to encourage that. So
yeah, and that probably drives in the right people and drives away the wrong people.
Exactly. Yeah. It just naturally, like, you definitely see the ones that are like, even if they see someone else being a hustler, then they're like, oh, wait, like, and then I just look at them like, it's on you. Like, you can have exactly what they have, but it's going to be on you. So I'll provide the environment, but it's going to be on you regardless. So, and that's why I wanted to change that, because I had worked with so many stylists that would be like, I just want to work a few days a week and take a few clients and just kind of chill and do my own thing. And cool, that's fine. I think those people have their place, but I also wanted to put more ownership on the stylist to really, if they wanted to excel, they could. So, yeah. And their pay showed that. So
yeah. I like performance-based pay. We do the same thing with us. And when we first started it, because everyone was hourly and I'd completely switched the structure, and a good majority of people left because they were uncomfortable with that. And well, high performers want to be compensated for their work. So
yeah, absolutely.
I get that. You didn't always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur, or was this was really something one day you just woke up and you're like, I want to own my own business now?
Yeah, my dad has always owned his own business, so I grew up with that. But, as a kid, I was like, I don't understand, Dad. You own the place. Like, why can't you just do whatever you want? And he's like, I can't do everything I want because I own the business. So, but as a kid, you didn't understand that. So as I got older, I realized like, oh, I get it. And now that I own it, I get it so much more. Like, this is gonna sound bad, but I always liked being in control, and I always naturally found things to solve, like problems to solve. So I think that's just something I did on my own anyway, probably influenced by my dad too. But like, so even at that location, the one that I own now, like my old boss, she would always be like, I love that I never hear from you because I know you're taking care of things and you're running it. But she's also like, when I do hear from you, it's like the AC's broke or, you know, whatever. So I still had a lot of ownership in that location. And she was a great boss to kind of like go, okay, that's a strength of hers. I'm gonna let her do it. And then, yeah, I think I just woke up one day going, I want more say because I was limited with what I could do, right, as far as the vision and all that stuff. So I think I just was like, okay, it's time that I take it on. So I don't know that I ever set out like I want to own my own business, but it just kind of naturally fell into place. Like, okay, I think I can not do this better, but I just wanted to do my own thing, I guess, and have a team. I didn't want to just go out and do my own thing as a hairdresser. Like I wanted to build a team. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have some natural leadership ability built into you, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, I don't know if that's just something I've witnessed with my dad or if it's just something I was like, to be in control.
To be in control. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
So did you know what you were getting into when you started?
No, no clue.
So tell me about that experience and like what type of things surprised you
I
when you
mean,
took
I
it
was
over?
intelligent enough to know I didn't know everything, but I assumed because the job, the technical job I had done for so long, I'm like, I got this. But yeah, the owning and running versus just being the technician is very, very different. So that was, but I had learned enough from other people that I was around to kind of just enjoy the journey. And like, you'll get your ass kicked some days and just learn that it's part of the process. So I think that definitely helped me, even though I still was, you know, throwing curveballs and all that kind of stuff. I think just knowing that from other people that were entrepreneurs prior, like that helped me because it was like, okay, this is one of those days they're talking
Get your
about.
ass kicked every day.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that going into it, kind of just knowing you don't know everything, but there was still in the beginning, like I felt like I needed to know everything because I had a team that was going to come to me with questions and I needed to be able to answer them. I wanted to be able to answer them. And that was, I guess it was just the hit to my ego that I was like, I don't know all this. And so that stress that came with it before I truly like understood it's okay to not know everything and you'll find out the answer. I was so stressed out there in the first like maybe year because I was like, I have to know everything. And the truth is you're not gonna know everything. So I'm a much better owner now because I've realized like, we'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. But yeah, to think I knew what I was getting into, no, I didn't.
Is there something that people misunderstand about owning salons in particular? Or like a stigma that
Yeah,
you
I
wanna
mean,
talk
to
about?
be fair, I don't know that that's I think it's fair that people misunderstand it because there's a lot of people in my industry that aren't good business people. They're creatives. We're in a creative industry, so they're very creative, but the business side of it, that it's like, oh, it's fine. Like bills will get paid somehow, or we don't need to look at a profit and loss. Like it's fine, whatever. I was fortunate enough that my old boss, she always was like a corporate person and she married a hairdresser. So that was like the perfect marriage for no pun intended, because he was the creative and could come to her with stuff and say like, you know, this isn't working as far as the artist. And she's like, but this needs to make sense for the business. So I was fortunate enough to have her before I owned it, have that aspect of things. But going back to my dad, I mean, I think I always had more of that sense anyway. I'm not the creative hairdressing person. Like I enjoy it, but I always was more interested in the business side of it, even though I still didn't know what I was doing whenever I took over. But I think a misconception would just be like, we play with hair all day. That would be like just a normal misconception. But to be fair, there are a lot of people in my industry that aren't. They're like the crazy hairdresser. I mean, literally that's the stigma that we get. And there's a reason there's that stigma, because they're just kind of like, no structure. Now I'm definitely labeling, but this is a thing. But like no structure, just come in whenever. Oh, if you're hungover, you just cancel your appointments. Like I've just never ran my business that even before I owned it, I never ran my personal business like that. And I think that that's one of the reasons I've been as successful as I have been as a stylist, and then moving into ownership, because I didn't treat it like casual like a lot of people in my industry treat it. So that's why a lot of people bail out of the industry within like the first 3 years, first 5 years.
Oh,
They
really?
just
Okay.
they don't see any money. They don't see any money. They do. They're just not good with it. Or maybe they don't even have the work ethic. But there's a lot of people, you hear stories all the time that are like, oh, my aunt used to do hair, or my grandma did hair out of her basement, or whatever. And I'm like, I run a very different business from that. Yeah. So those are just misconceptions that I personally have came across. Like, a lot of my friends would work in banking and all that stuff, working, living in Charlotte, they'd work in banking. And I'm like, oh, they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a hairdresser. And they're like, oh, okay. It was just kind of like disregarded.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh yeah, my aunt did that, or my
Like
sister
real
went to
estate
school.
almost. Like
Yes.
everyone knows real estate or has done real estate.
Yes.
Very few are successful at it.
That's it. And it's like, oh, okay. And then I remember thinking, I know I make more money than all of y'all. But I just was like, okay, like whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a stigma that I know I've had. So
I get that. I think it's interesting you say you're not creative though, or you're not like the creative, because I feel like it has to be part of what you do every day, is like seeing
maybe like
vision.
artsy. Maybe that's not what I think. I'm not artsy. I like pretty hair. I like pretty people. I like pretty hair. I like to make people feel good about themselves. So I like that aspect. But when I think of like creative people, I think like artsy. Like I can't draw worth shit. I can't, none of that. So I mean, that's what I think of. Yeah.
Do you think that social media has changed like the way people see the hair industry? Like I'm thinking, I see all these crazy videos online and it's like, is that even real? Did they, is her hair real, or is the coloring real? Like, has that changed? Do people come to you with pictures and videos and say they want their hair to look like that?
Oh yeah, it's definitely changed our industry. I mean, I've been doing it 20 years. So I mean, when we first started, it was like you still had the magazines laying and like pick out let me pick out my hairstyle, So I definitely had, that was where I started. But then like social media and stuff has changed a lot. Now AI, they bring you pictures that's not even real. You're like, that's a wig. That's AI. That's not. I've seen the same like color pattern, but in different colors. So it could be like a balayage or something, or like an ombre from like dark to light. And I've seen it be dark purple to light purple, brown to blonde, red to light red. And I'm like, that is the same photo, but AI or whatever has changed it to different things. So I'm like, so it's made our jobs harder, and we've just had to have more conversation around that's not real, whatever. So yeah, I mean, social media has definitely changed a lot. There's a lot of people that will filter their end results. There's a lot of, which is, I never understand that. It's kind of like online dating. You're like, why would you filter yourself if the goal is to meet in person? They know you're not going to look like that.
Yeah.
So if you put on your social media that you do all these blondes and extensions or whatever, and it's filtered to look more blended or filtered to, I'm like, and then someone sits in your chair and you can't produce that, but your social media presence shows that you do.
Yep. It'll catch up to them eventually.
Yeah, we see that a lot. Like we always say, you'll get that client in your chair and you'll get paid once.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, that's not. So I always encourage my staff to take before and afters, always. But a lot of the times it's for their own progression to see like, oh, I could have done this better, or, this could have been more blended, or the photo itself could have been taken better, that kind of stuff. And they're good reference points, but I'm like, don't ever filter your work. Like, it's just.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So.
Have you seen that guy on Instagram? He's like Booty Jack or something like that. And he brings up pictures of like BBLs. He's like, that's BBL, and that's not. And I'm like,
he's got an accent?
Yeah, he's like Australian or something. You should.
The other day I saw one. He just like sat it down and he was like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do that.
Yeah, you should be like, that's AI.
I remember he like sat his phone down and was just like, that's it, I'm done. That's a big deal. Like, yeah.
But anyway, I think that would be fun to do with hair, because
really good.
I don't know what's fake and what's not.
Something that I like forget. It's like you forget what you know. So it's like I forget that. I'm like, this is so obvious. And I see it all the time. So I think everyone's seeing it all the time. And then that's something I forget. Like a client will come in with something like, oh, I didn't know that. And I'm like, how do you not know that? It's all over social media, but it's not on their social media. It's on mine because I'm a hairdresser.
Yeah.
So like, I'm thinking that's AI. These are all AI photos. Haven't you seen this? And they're like, no, it's not real. And I'm like, no. So I mean that is a good idea. I should do that.
Educate, education can be boring, but if you make it fun, people would listen.
Just give me an idea. I don't know.
There you go. What type of things keep you up at night as a business owner?
Everything.
That's how I answer that question.
Yeah.
Like, what doesn't keep me up?
I think the biggest thing is, I don't want to say worrying about, but I mean, you worry. It's your business. I think my staff, like making sure that they have, or my team, I should say, making sure that they feel like they're growing. I mean, I know I'm not going to always make them happy, and that's honestly not my goal. If I put the business first, I'm always going to put the business first. And I feel like if I'm putting the business first, I'm also putting them first as well because they work there. But I think it's, are they happy in the sense like, do they feel like they're growing? Do they feel like they have a path with me? And I think that's probably the biggest thing that keeps me up. And then like, I did this a lot, but I won't allow it to keep me up anymore of like, what if it fails? Like, what if one day nobody wants to come see me and get their hair done? Like, I had those thoughts. It's like, when you go down that rabbit hole, you can really do that. You're like, what if somebody like, it's almost like you're going to get found out. They're going to find out I don't know what I'm doing as a business owner, or they're going to find out I'm not the best hairdresser, or they're going to find out I'm not the best leader. And then it's all going to go to shit. And it's like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I have had moments of that. But I would say the keeping me up at night would be like, am I doing enough as a leader? Because I can do hair. I can teach people to do hair, but it's like, as a leader, am I doing enough as a leader? That's definitely one for sure.
So as a leader, how do you balance empathy and accountability?
I don't really balance very well.
Or do you lean into one more than the other?
So something I've noticed about myself is my natural tendency is to just be like, no excuses, cut the shit, that kind of thing. That is my natural tendency. And because I know it's my natural tendency and I'm worried of how that's going to come across and maybe be off-putting or something to who I need to correct, like on my staff, that I almost filter myself so much the other way, which is not natural. It's like you're doing a really great job and you're lovely, but, and then I get into it. I go against my natural tendency to be like, hey, this is not good. We need to correct this, whatever, that I go so far the other way that I'm not actually effective. Does that make sense? Like,
no, I think that's a common problem. Gary Vee talks about that a lot. He's like, I am the worst with managing people. He's like, because I care about them so much, but even if they're doing a bad job, they don't even know. And I just fire them one day and they're confused.
Right. And I think I've definitely left conversations and that's another thing I've learned with like different personality types require a different type of instruction.
Yeah.
So like they're like walked away from a conversation going, oh my God, my boss thinks I'm wonderful. And I'm like, no, I think you're like not doing anything right. But because I'm like, you're so sweet and you're so this and you're so that, but all of this other stuff you suck at. But the way I presented it to them, they're like, I'm doing such a good job. And then they wonder why they'd get like wrote up or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that one's hard. But I think recently I do feel like I've gotten much better about like learning different personality types need different instruction like presented to them in a different way, right? So like for me, I am so worried about how they're going to perceive it because I want just direct, like, tell me like it is, whatever. And if you have to tell me, if you have to correct me, I'm almost like, oh my gosh, why did I not self-correct that? So the fact that someone had to give me instruction would bother me as a person. And then they would never have to tell me again because that's just how I operate. But not everybody's like that. So I take my own like thoughts about that type of criticism, constructive criticism or whatever, and then try to put it on someone else. And that's not how some people just need to hear exactly like I ask for it. Like, just tell me exactly and then we're good. We'll move on. But
other people will cry when you do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about being like, I mean, I think you're great. I'm not firing you today, but it could lead to that. But so it's learning like, I could tell one person very direct, very whatever, and they're like, cool, I'm good. Awesome. The next one, they're devastated and they'll go crawl in a hole and cry. So it's hard. That's been hard to like navigate. And by nature, like I was just saying, like I'm much more quick to point out all the things we need to work on because that's what I do personally to myself. I'm like, I could still work on this. I'm not that I don't give myself credit where credit's due. And I do give my staff credit where credit's due, but my natural tendency is go towards improvement and what we can improve on. So that's how I'll go at my team. Like if we have meetings, I'm like, all right, first things first, we suck at this. We need to do this. Instead of all this stuff, there's plenty of stuff that we do great, but that's not what I lead with. So trying to balance that is definitely something I'm still learning to do for sure. So
I struggle with that too. I'm very like a tactical numbers person. So I'm like, here's what the numbers say. I don't give a shit about anything else. But obviously there's more empathy that needs to be built into that. So I'm learning that as well, which is tough. That's like a really hard thing for me.
It really is. Especially, as the business owner, you see numbers, they don't know that, you know what I mean? They're not seeing all that. So you're like, we've got to correct this. Meanwhile, I have this one girl on my team that like everyone loves her. She's a delight. She's so sweet. She's so this. She's the least producing. Currently, she's just new. That's the only reason. She'll get there. But I'm sitting here going like, I don't know. I just may have to like cut ties with this one. But like, and every time I've thought something like that, something happens where they're like, she's just so lovely. Like that, I just love having her around. And then, so trying to like think everybody has their strengths and everybody has their weaknesses. And then as the leader, like building upon those weaknesses, like helping them get better. But like they do have their place. They do have their strengths.
As long as they're a good core value fit.
Yep.
We do everything we can to coach them up to where they should be. Or if it's like, hey, at the end of the day, we've coached you for months, you're not improving, maybe there's a different spot on the team for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough when they're a good core value fit, but the actual skill set isn't there.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
But then you have the flip side. Sometimes you have some that are like producing like crazy and you're like, you actually are not the best fit.
And then they're an asshole and you have to fire them anyway. That's hard too.
Yeah. That's the biggest one because you're like, oh, I really want to keep you for the revenue.
Yeah.
But like, that's a struggle.
Yes. We know each other through RTA.
Yep.
Which is Andy Frisella's coaching group. So we're both kind of into the same world of discipline, fitness, stuff like that. So how do you think that fitness helps you as a leader or business owner?
It keeps me sane.
Yeah.
Like if I miss my workouts or fall off the rails on like my diet or something, it affects everything. Like I have to keep that right. I'm a much better person. I'm a much better leader when I've led myself. When I first bought the business, I remember that was the first thing I let go was my discipline, my working out, my eating right, whatever, because I was so focused on the business. And that was actually the exact opposite of what I needed to do because then I struggled as a person. I wasn't happy, didn't feel good. I was tired all the time, all that stuff. And then I'd get to work and then I'm irritated, I'm upset, whatever. Yeah. So like, I mean, I know it exists that there's successful people that aren't disciplined with themselves as much as they are with their business, but I personally can't do it like that.
Yeah.
Like.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you have any habits that have changed your life in particular? I know, like, I don't know if you've done 75 hard or like, is there certain things that you're like, I did this and everything changed?
Probably going back to the just being disciplined about like the non-negotiating on my workouts and stuff like that. But I would say reading was the biggest one that I incorporated because I would read here and there if somebody told me to or somebody suggested something. But I'm talking like I'm always reading something now. And a lot of the stuff can be repetitive, but it's still that I think has been the biggest change. And then reading and then following up, like if I have questions about maybe something I've read or something like that, and then talking to other business owners or entrepreneurs, that's helped for sure. It's definitely like moved the needle, I feel like, on things.
Yeah. Has Arate helped you?
Oh, yeah.
In your business ownership journey?
Yeah, I think just I could do a lot more with it for sure. But I think just having access to people that like, if you're stumped on something and you just need to help with something, like having that access to people.
Yeah. You
need a group that like gets it. Even if you don't see them all the time or talk to them, you need to like, when you feel like you're in the trenches about something, like you need to have, I was saying this to somebody the other day. I don't know how people don't have a group to lean on if you're a business owner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how
you feel isolated most of the time.
Yeah. You're like, nobody gets it. Nobody understands. I had my dad to always do that, but having other people in different industries helps a lot too. So
yeah, I love that group because there's people that are just starting, but then there's people that are, probably do hundreds of millions in revenue and they have like amazing wisdom and they're so happy to share with you because we're all like kind of core value fit people with each other.
Yeah. So something I noticed
each other win.
No, with that, because I went into that group kind of being like, I have no business being here. Like there's people, because in my mind, all these people I was starting. So I thought everybody was way far ahead. And that's not the case. Like you said, it's like you have starting out versus, multi-million-dollar companies or whatever. But I think something I noticed was even though when I've been to events or whatever, even though it's me and my small team, there was a guy, I don't remember which one it was, but which event it was, but there was a guy in the conversation that was saying like he struggled with his culture, like having a good fit. And from what it sounded like is he also hadn't done the work to like kind of solidify that culture. And so I'm sitting here trying to take in every bit of information I can. And I'm like, that's one thing I don't have a problem with. Like, I don't have a problem with someone not knowing or what our vision is or what our mission is or something like that. Like, you could ask anybody on my team and they'd be like, this is what we're about. Mm-hmm. So that made me feel better going, okay, I don't know a lot, but I do know.
Yeah, you can
like
help
my
other people too.
Yeah, so that's where everyone has something to offer. And that's what I like about that group. It's like, even if you're just starting out, well, what was your journey to get to where you started? Because that probably has helped someone like that maybe took over their parents' company. Like maybe they didn't know what it was like to start out from the bottom and build up a team because the team was already there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
But
like,
they need to know how to revise an existing
Yeah.
team, which is a whole different structure.
Totally. Yeah. So that's cool to have everybody has their strengths, even if you're a one-man operation or something. Like you could bring something to the table.
Yeah.
That somebody's like, oh my gosh, I struggle with that. And they're like, I've never struggled with that. That's just something that naturally came, so that's what I like about that group.
Yeah, I agree. We were at an event together like last year, I guess, maybe, I don't even know, a year and a half ago when we went to Evolve
Oh
the
yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there kind of venting about, I was in a bad spot with business, just stressed out, and I was just venting about all these things. And then this guy's like, well, why don't you just hire this role? That would fix that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you're totally right. Like, how did I not see that? But it's like when you have people with business knowledge, with an outside perspective, they're not in the trenches with you. Like, it's so helpful to just
Yeah.
be able to talk to people like that because no one else would have been able to give me that advice.
Right. And then it's like, you're like, duh.
Yeah, like,
As
why
soon as they
didn't I
say it,
know
you're like,
that?
why was I struggling with this for like months? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing too is when you weave events like that, like you got to take action or else what was the point of
Oh my gosh.
consuming all of the education if you're not gonna do anything?
That's one that I definitely struggle with. The whole like analysis paralysis or paralysis by now. I always feel like I'd switch them up.
Paralysis of analysis.
Yeah, but like that's the one where I feel like I have to have the plan. The plan has to be set, and it's like no,
Just
there's
go.
no. Which and with the irony in that is, I literally woke up one day and was like, I think I should like talk to my boss about buying that salon. Just kind of did it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how you can like, I don't know, you wake up and you feel some type of way that day. Like today's a good day. Today's a whatever kind of day.
Yeah.
And I remember reaching out to my boss that day. I just sent the text. And then it was like a couple weeks after because we were trying to line up times to talk. And in that time frame, I started to talk myself out of it. Nothing had happened. It was just, I've tried to remember that. It's like, and then that one little, I woke up and was like, I'm going to send her a text and be like, this is what I'm thinking. Let's meet up. And then now I own a salon. So it's like, why not just take action? If you have that thought, just do it. See what happens. And like, that's something, again, feeling like I need to know everything. Like, you don't have to know everything. Just do something with it. And like we've heard Andy say all the time, like, it's not about, I honestly don't fear a failure, fear failure. I honestly don't fear that anymore. I would hate like if I failed and my team didn't have a place to work, I would fear that, but that's not going to happen.
I feel like for you, you're maybe like a perfectionist or you want to make sure the product is great before it hits the market or whatever. And that's not how it goes.
No, not at all.
Has to be messy.
Yeah. And he always says like if it's not a failure because you learn something from it. If you're like, oh, that didn't work out. So now I even say with my team when we do meetings, I'm like, sure, let's run it that way. And if it doesn't work out, we'll figure something else out.
Yeah.
Like, because I've tried not to worry about that anymore because it's just like, just do it and then you'll figure it out like as you go.
I agree.
But yeah, I like things a certain way, so I want it to be perfect, and it's not gonna be. So
I get it.
Or that's how you get it perfect. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, you have to learn from your mistakes. Like I think a lot of people, they may make a bad hire and then they just, let it ride for too long because they don't want to admit they made a bad hire. And it's like you gotta learn from your mistakes quicker.
Yep.
And pivot. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. I
Trying to hold on to things for too long, and I'm like, we should have pivoted when we saw it was wrong.
I know.
The first time.
There's gut things. Do you feel like you second guess your gut, or do you like?
I do, and I'm like, my gut was right 3 months
every
ago.
time.
Yeah.
Every time. So that's what it's like. Why do we do that? Like, but do you think in the moment? I just had one like recently where I was like, I had that feeling, but then I tried to talk myself out of it because I'm like, am I being too like I'm acting too fast or whatever? But then I'm like, every time I've done that, my gut has been right. Every single time.
And usually with me, it's people. If I can like read people's energy, I feel like a certain way, and I'll tell someone, I'm like, they're about to quit or they're like not acting with integrity, but I can't prove it. I just feel like
you feel it. Yeah.
So I think with people, it's, if you pay attention, it's easy to see.
True. I feel like I need to, like, how do I develop that to be stronger? You know what I mean? Because it's like you said, you don't have proof. And I'm like, it's just a feeling I have. And I'm not a feelings person. But then it's like every time I went against my gut, I'm like, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Like every single time.
I think that's a hard thing to coach. I don't know.
Yeah. How would you do that? Do you need like a psychic or something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. How do I?
Maybe one day there'll be like an AI robot that can read things like that.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
How to improve my emotional intelligence when it comes
That's
to
what I need, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to end with rapid fire questions.
Oh, God.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep. Sure.
Andy Frisella or Ed Milet's for motivation?
Ooh, motivation. Oh gosh, that's hard.
I know.
I'm gonna say Andy because I naturally like the
Aggression?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Okay. Salon day or gym day?
Can I have both?
No?
Damn. Uh, I might have to just default to gym day. I love being in the salon, but I'm gonna have to default to gym day.
Okay.
Yeah.
High standards or high patience?
Immediately, my first thought was high standards.
Would you rather be respected or liked?
Respected.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Coffee or pre-workout?
Ugh,
Before
coffee.
the gym. Coffee? Tell me your best salon story.
This was like years ago, so not while I've owned it. But I did have a client that was my other client's. She was the girlfriend of my other client's
Okay.
husband, right? Is that how I say that? Yeah, she was the mistress. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had that. That's typical salon story.
Do they know that you're both of their
No.
stylists? Oh,
No.
you just know everything.
I just know. Yeah. I did have a guy that would literally, he would take the bus 45 minutes. He had no car. He would take the bus up to the lake to get, he lived in Charlotte and he would take the bus up to the lake to get a haircut. Still does actually, but now he lives up here now, so he doesn't have to take the bus, but that's kind of crazy. I'm like,
Wow, yeah.
you pass like
Maybe
all
I had a
these
crush
salons.
on you.
I don't know. I know there's I know I have several, but I'm trying to think of one that would be podcast good.
Well, it's okay if you can't think of one.
Yeah, I can't. I'm going to think of one later and I'm like, I should have said that one.
All right, no worries. Well, that was my last question.
Okay.
So if people want to get a hold of you,
Mhm.
can you tell them where to find you?
Yes, our website is meetatthelocal.com. Instagram's the local salon and parlor. I think it's, yeah, I'm not sure how I think it's the local salon and parlor. Instagram, Facebook, Google, all the jazz, all the things. Maybe we should come to YouTube. I haven't done that yet.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on. It was
Thank
fun.
you.